Idea Dream Home Season 5. We are here to discover the best house in Kerala based on various parameters. And to help us do that, we have with us our judges, Arun and Anna Kuruvilla. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. The question I have for you today is, how do you go about landscaping in apartments and small houses?
For small houses, it's not important that you try to do a lot of things. You can probably do a little bit with potted plants, maybe a little bit of lawns, and you needn't go for very expensive lawns. You might need to just do a little bit to show a little bit of greenery, which changes the whole ambience in front of the house. You can always do a little bit on the wall, compound wall, so that you can see both from the inside of the plot and from the exterior.
The contesting house for today is called Pallipadan. It's in Angamaly. It's a very huge property. It's 8,000 square feet. Let's see what they have done to the house.
Welcome to Idea Dream Home Season 5. I'm really excited today seeing this huge bungalow. It's Pallipadan house in Angamaly. It's approximately 8,000 square feet, 4-bedroom, 2-floor house. Well, the entrance door led us to this pathway which is divided into both sides, the formal living space. Actually, they have it on both the sides, the same kind of furniture and the pattern. To talk about the ceiling, they have done gypsum board with LED lighting. Now, Italian marble has been used for the flooring in the entire house. Something I really liked in the interiors is the spacing. The rooms are very spacious, yet there is transparency between them. Like I walked in from the living area to this main hall. It's a big spacious main hall. To talk about the detailing of the decor, first of all, they have used a lot of teak wood in the pillars and the wood paneling. What you're seeing, actually, I can get a clear visual of the upper floor. For the ceiling, they have done it beautifully by using wood framework. Then a big chandelier hanging it gives a very attractive look. From standing at this place, I can get a visual of almost all the areas, like the dining, the kitchen, then also the staircase that leads us to the upper floor. Then they have 2 bedrooms on this floor. Right next to the bedroom is a prayer area, which is accessible from all the areas. The master bedroom has been kept to as grand as it can be. They have a sitting area, separate entrance to the lawns outside. They have windows on both the sides which helps in the cross ventilation and lighting. For the flooring, they have used granite completely in this room. They also have a dress area. I'm standing at the guest bedroom and I can find a lot of resemblances. First of all, each bedroom has been provided the separate entrance from the outside. Then the flooring they have used is granite. They have kept the decor to overall minimum with the brown color scheme being of the room. Right next to it is the pantry section. They also have a pantry counter. Then that's attached to the main kitchen section. Well, the wash area is comfortable. Look at just next to the dining table. It's actually decorated. What you can see is a wooden paneling done on the ceiling with LED lights. That given a very attractive look to talk about the detailing. West Korean material has been used for the slabs. They have wooden cabinets, everything in the basic equipment that are required for a modular kitchen, they have it in all. Then the ceiling has been done by gypsum board with LED lightings. Right adjacent to it is the main work area that's attached to the storeroom. To talk about the detailings on the upper floor, first of all, they have used granite flooring completely instead of the Italian marbles that are used in the rest of the house. They have 2 bedrooms in this particular floor. They also have a family lounge area right in that corner. It's also a TV viewing space.
As far as the exteriors are concerned, I found the landscaping quite exciting, but I missed one thing, that was flowering plants. I missed those colorful flowers. What's your opinion?
At the very first glimpse, luxurious mansion with of the colonial style. You see that huge portico, that entrance portico, which I feel is slightly higher because for our kind of rains, I don't think if you're standing near the entrance door, you won't be protected from the rains. And for the scale of the house, I feel the entrance door could have been bigger, I mean in terms of height. Now you see a long driveway leads to the house, and then there is lush green lawns. It's really dark green lawns, and that is a beautiful thing to see with those pure white house. At the entrance, I think it's a bit too overwhelming. Like if you're a person standing there, the height would really overwhelm you. But it's good to give that luxurious feel.
What would you say, Arun?
The house is really big. Like what she was telling, it's a monumental scale house. We won't usually relate such big houses to an independent home. They've done it with very good detail. The scale is really matched well, but like she told, the door breaks the whole thing down. So probably the door should have been a little more taller so that it matches with the overall scale of the entrance portico. And they've gone for a different kind of architecture here. They've taken away the car parking space to the sides, and that should, I think, for a house of this scale, what they've done, they could have detached the carporch into a separate driveway. One thing we note in the car parking area is that they've gone for stone cladding, which I think should not have been used, because the whole thing should have been white. I don't think there is a need for a flowering plant in this kind of context.
So while the exteriors kind of complete the picture, let's see what you have to say about the interiors. We'll start with you, Arun.
Interiors stand out completely different. Now they've used wooden doors, means in the polished surface they've gone for polished surface, but when you enter inside the color changes into dark, basically rosewood colors, and I think the entry area they have gone for a sunken entry area, which I don't think is that necessary for a house of this scale. The hall is really big, they have spaced it out well. I think the furniture stand out a little too much than they really need to be. They could have gone for a little more classier furniture. Instead they went for the dark wood. When you look at the dining area, again the same dark wood continues. But the kitchen stands out very modern. So that is a different character altogether. Another thing we immediately note in the living area is the washing, the hand wash area, which is directly visible.
Yeah.
For a house of this scale, I think there should be definitely a separate space for a powder room wash or something like that. So I think some spaces should have been given more importance. For a house of this scale, they could definitely afford to give importance to those areas and treat them like that.
Okay. Anna, what would you say?
The living room, I think they have two separate living rooms. I have not understood why they need to have two separate living rooms. And for the scale of the room, the size of the furniture does not match. They have done extensive woodwork in teak, I think so, and they've done beautiful detailing. But that color does not match with those loose furnitures, which is of the dark tone. The dining table and the sofa and all that are of the very dark color. If you notice in the living room, the false ceiling work, they kept it very little. So here I would have expected it to be a little more bigger.
Yeah, a little more classy.
That scale, they've lost touch with that scale when it comes to the interiors. The pantry is simple. They've gone for an island with a cooktop that can be viewed from the dining. It looks practical. But regarding the interiors, 7,000 square feet, I feel the bedrooms are small for such a big square footage home. I think the whole area that they've taken up in that central courtyard and the living dining, they should have given a little more spaces into the bedroom suites and all that, which would have been more useful. Yeah.
Now let's discuss something about the color, the decor, the lighting. What do you have to say about it, Anna?
The house looks dark inside. Like for the landscaped area, for the amount of land around the house, if they had a light well inside the house, that would have been a very interesting feature right in the center of the house. They've tried to bring in punches of color in the living room in terms of cushion, but the furniture spoils the fun. Had they been on a bigger sofa, it would have, or on a lighter color sofa, it would have shown
enhanced.
Okay. And it's all basic type curtains. They've stuck to neutral colors. Nothing bad, nothing great. It is. I really wanted more.
You were expecting more.
More in this house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Arun, what do you have to say about it?
I was expecting more than what they actually did. The exterior gave us a different picture of what is going to be inside. So we expect something, seeing the outer picture, and then when you enter in, it's totally different. Like what she was earlier telling, the legs of the sofa, for an example, or the chairs, it's very slender. So it gives a feeling of very flimsy thought of sitting on it. Then the next is the colors, the wood or whatever they've used. They've gone for the darker shades. It's a favorite thing among people to choose for rosewood color, but it's not always right. Means you have to keep the context alive. So if you're going for a very classical and colonial style character into the house, you have to think in slightly lighter color woods. Maybe a little bit of wooden floor would have been interesting somewhere. Then like they have enough space. They could have actually introduced a little more width into the back sides to bring in light, or maybe introduce some kind of one side open courtyard or something like that, like what you see in Mediterranean houses, which can add on to the area that's exposed to light. instead of going for a lot of interior lighting, natural light would have been a different feel altogether. Then I think little areas they have not looked for the character match, like the kitchen. They went for a very total modern approach with the white straight line countertop edges and very modern looking chimney in the island, which there are chimneys option available for little classic homes with wooden covers and things like that. So it goes with the country kitchen kind of character. So I think small elements should have been taken care of a little more. The feel what we get from the exterior is not complete in the interior.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now to the general overall ambience. Arun, what do you have to say about
Ambience is okay. Means when you look, the interior and exterior is separate. Interior's got a different feel altogether, and the exterior's got a different feel. If you try and combine them together, then you find the problem. But otherwise, it's a
kind of mismatch. Do you think?
It is definitely a mismatch. But I think they've tried to do everything functional. The sofas and everything are in place, and it is catering to their needs. So I would not say it is not doing their jobs, but when you look at the whole picture, probably it's not the right thing for each other. Yeah.
I feel a carpet could bring them all together.
Yeah.
It would try to make it look more cozier in the living room. But what I really think is the grandeur of the outside. That's not come inside. Outside it's very grand. So they need to work on the interiors.
Okay. So now we come to the segment where we rate the house. Arun, how much would you have given the exteriors?
Exteriors I think is really appealing. They have tried a lot to create a totally different scale of building, and the landscape supports to it almost fully, except for a little glitch of some stone cladding which could have been avoided. I think the house looks very decent, and it is reaching up to the limits of the scale what it's trying to achieve. So I think I'll give them 21.
21 out of 25. Anna, how much have you scored?
This is very grand and very impressive. So I've given them 22 on 25.
How about the interiors?
The interiors, I would say it is not matching to the exterior quality and scale. They should have done a lot of things differently. But if you don't consider the outside feel of the house, then I think it does purpose to what it's intended to do. And some things like the bedrooms, for example, the beds could have been bigger. They could have done little more intelligent furnishing, like the TV point, or maybe they could have added an extra seat to which the TV is faced, because I don't think they are scarce of space. And next thing I would say is the staircase was done really heavily. The steps looks very neat, but the rails are really heavy, and they completely closed it up with wood. So that is one. See, for a classic house of this type, probably a little bit of cast iron handrails would look interesting. You have to put in a little more study into the character you are trying to reach. It can also be like the exterior or the main architecture was done by a person and the interior was dealt by another person. So ultimately we cannot completely blame anyone. It just works. So I think I'll give 19.
19 out of 25. And Anna, how much have you scored?
I've given them 18.
18.
Yeah.
Okay, and now coming to the color, the decor and the lighting, Anna, how much would you have scored?
Given them 18 on 25.
And how about you, Arun?
I would give 18.
18.
Yeah.
So now coming to the overall ambience, Arun, how much have you scored them?
I'll give them 19.
19.
Yeah, I think that should be an average of both the interior and exterior. And the exterior really pulls up whatever they lost in the interior. So I think that is helping them to get the score of 19.
Okay. And how about you, Anna?
I've given them 20 on 25.
The judges have finally given their verdict. Arun has given a score of 77 and Anna has given a score of 78 out of 100. The public has given a score of 39. That brings us to a total of 194 out of 250. Simple, luxurious or opulent? What's your idea of dream home? Keep watching Idea Dream Home Season 5 for more ideas and tips. Till then, goodbye.